At the end of the day, this live-action Little Mermaid is nothing more than a modern-day cup of coffee in an integrated restaurant that you don't own. What's good? No need to delay. Let's talk about it. Everybody's triggered due to the blackwashing of a fictional white Disney character. I'm more interested in how people respond to the news. I guess you could say exploring social dynamics is a hobby. So let's get to it. When it comes to the bigots throwing hate at the young black actress, what I'm tripping on is where's the smoke for the producers and the directors responsible?
I will say that Halle was the first person we saw, first person for this role. Really? I had seen her on the Grammys, and I asked if she could come in to see if she could, do this. And I remember at the end of her singing this song, Part of Your World, that we just heard her sing today, I was in tears. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's so deep and so emotional and so beautiful. She set the bar very high, and no one ever crossed that bar but her. So she claimed the role for herself. She claimed the role for herself. She claimed the role for herself. And then...
You are beaten. It is useless to resist. Don't let yourself be destroyed.
Here's my PSA to the racists. Black America. Hell, the actress herself had zero to do with the casting of this film. So I'm going to ask white folks, not all, just the ones who continue to hold that 400-year-old resentment in their hearts, to redirect your outrage towards the people in control of production. Wishful thinking, I know. Attacking black folks is America's greatest pastime. We've definitely got history.
Inside the Matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one.
Which reminds me, when The Hunger Games was in theaters, the bigots didn't hesitate either. A young 14-year-old actress named Amanda Steinberg was attacked and harassed, all due to accepting her role as Rue. Are we beginning to see a pattern here? Perhaps it's some historical pathology that's baked in the very core of American culture.
That bit with the collar, how did you do that?
Like my saintable mum used to say, get 'em young, and the possibilities are endless.
Some folks say the solution to this racial washing controversy is just creating new original black characters and stories. I completely agree, but unfortunately, even that has brought out deep-rooted anti-black hatred. John Boyega comes to mind. The trailer of Star Wars The Force Awakens featured John's character holding a lightsaber. That scene alone was enough to cause, well, you can see for yourself.
I sense much fear in you.
Isn't it mad that people can watch movies like Star Wars and understand why people are rebelling and fighting against oppressive, harmful, and corrupt systems, but don't understand when it happens in real life?
She ain't lying.
I mean, the brother can't even state his own dating preferences without controversy.
My nigga.
So let me get this straight. On one end, you didn't want him to be in Star Wars, called him everything in the Ku Klux Klan handbook, scared to death you were going to be replaced labeling the film anti-white propaganda that promotes white genocide. And now you're mad that he prefers to date only black women?
We are peaceful people. We are loving people. We love everybody who loves us. But we don't love anybody who doesn't love us.
This anti-black hatred doesn't stop in Hollywood either. Many cosplayers catch hell too. Black women in particular can't even dress up as their favorite fictional characters without idiots telling them that their skin tone doesn't match the characters they're portraying.
So I'm gonna take a break from TikTok, officially. I don't know how long I'm gonna be gone, but I'm tired of getting so many racist comments and so many hate comments, having to go through and read all of them and have to delete them. I don't understand why people are mad at me for cosplaying. I genuinely don't understand. Why does my skin color matter when I cosplay? It's not that big of a deal. But it's annoying now, and I can't I can't keep dealing with this. I'm sorry, guys. I have tried to stay strong for the longest for you guys because I get this on a daily basis. And how you see me now is how I am on a daily basis when I see these comments, and I'm tired of it. So I'm sorry, but I can't keep dealing with this. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Which brings us right back to our current controversial Little Mermaid. Let's take a look at the lengths folks took when they realized their Disney princess was no longer white.
Officially, the Little Mermaid trailer has surpassed 1 million dislikes. You can use the extension in Chrome to confirm it. This is what happens when you want to sell something that nobody wants to buy. Go woke, go broke.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I've had it with your whining and bumbling.
The 20 worst examples of Hollywood whitewashing. Is color washing history the new whitewashing? History in its entirety. How whitewashed history the whitewashing leaves much of history students and rock the whitewashing doctors that shaped.
In other words,
Decepticons! Transform and rise up!
Emotional damage!
the outrage you feel is but a simple taste of what many non-whites have endured for generations. So let me get this straight. You whitewash other groups, then have the nerve to be mad when it's done to you?
Hypocrisy. Right.
And we're just focused on Hollywood media whitewashing. This spills into history, religion, education, evangelism, and so much more. You talk, this is all on you. Had White America not destroyed our cities, towns, and communities, Black America would have our own media engine to represent our stories as we see fit. Many of those black cities had their own theaters and movie productions. Our destiny was in our hands, and White America couldn't handle it.
You have all sorts of businesses in Greenwood. You have everything from funeral parlors to theaters, hotel. There's a public library, a black library. There are chili houses, cafes, restaurants. There's just everything there.
There were a dozen surgeons and doctors. There were several lawyers. There was a black-owned photography studio.
They created their own economy. That economy became successful because black folks did business with one another and kept dollars largely in the black community.
Booker T. Washington coined the phrase Greenwood as the Black Wall Street, or the Negro Wall Street of America.
You see the African-American educators, doctors, lawyers, landowners, oil barons, and I think that's what's so remarkable about this footage. To think that individuals, how many years out of slavery, are now owning oil wells that are producing 2,000 barrels a day. Is that not the ultimate American dream? Is that not the ultimate American story?
It worked. They tried to erase black communities and they came way too close. But now there are people doing the research. So we are finally learning about places like Henry and McKee Islands, which is now located under Lake Guntersville in Alabama, and Vanport, Oregon, which is now located under Delta Park. And all of these towns, which are currently literally underwater. If you're going to kick black people out of their homes, make sure they have the money to stay on their feet. cut a dang check. And yes, you can pay their descendants too, because generational wealth is one of the many things that is destroyed when you put black communities underwater. So cut a dang check. These drowned towns are part of the black American history they don't want to teach you. It's ugly and it's gross and we don't even know all of it. And the more we find out, the harder it is to love this place that would do those things to so many people.
Those colored males sure are doing good for themselves. They've managed to create over 600 businesses. They have over 20 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, and I just came from one of their movie theaters. It was amazing. What? That's nothing to celebrate. We can't let them compete with us economically. Competition is a sin in my book. The Emancipation Proclamation was ordered 40 years ago and these are already surpassing us in wealth and resources. I don't like this one bit.
Let's put aside our differences and do something to stop this madness. If they get too much power, who knows what they'll do. We've got to shut them down and find a way to keep them down permanently.
Amen, brother. White power.
The fear of black retribution from what white America has done throughout history has left them paranoid. The fear is so well ingrained that they've used countless measures to sabotage any type of black unification and sovereignty. Black folks, both past and present, have had one collective wish.
Please. If everyone would just go away and leave me alone. I said, leave me alone!
Quiet as it's kept, whitewashing isn't the only thing we've had to deal with. White American media has not been kind. We have far more beef to discuss, but I'll save that for another day.
You haven't changed at all. You're still evil, and when you're trying to be good, you're even more evil. Damn devil!
One more thing before we finish up. For all of the I don't see color people, give it up.
Stop the cow! Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f*** is that?
Before we finish, here are my quick thoughts on blackwashing.
Having an opportunity to ride either on the front or the back or in the middle of someone else's bus doesn't dignify you. When you have your own bus, then you have dignity. When you have your own school, you have dignity. When you have your own country, you have dignity. When you have something of your own, you have dignity. But whenever you are begging for a chance to participate in that which belongs to someone else, or use that which belongs to someone else on an equal basis with the owner, that's not dignity, that's ignorance.
In other words,
Thank you so much for the free promotion.
Do you think living in someone else's shadow dignifies you? At best, maybe you get, what, short-term instant gratification? Whereas the original character and creator has, well, everything. Race swapping is not representation. It's a lazy, integrational tool where you are at the mercy of another group's narrative. The time has come for Black America to forget their hero worship of other groups and create and emulate heroes of their own. So, what am I trying to say here? Well, let's go over a few key points. 1. I'm making a clear case that white America, some, can't take the blackwashing of one Disney character, but they see no problem with whitewashing you out of existence. History, religion, music, television, property, hell, even TikTok dances.
You know that they're gonna let them have nothing. The War Naturals, they took that, they take everything. They took Tina Turner, they took Michael Jackson, they took James Brown, they gave him back. Who else they take? Lionel Richie. Oh, they'll take stuff from him.
Mine? 2. When it comes to the blackwashing of Ariel, let me reiterate my concern.
I've had it with these Disney reboots. I hate when they race swap characters. They should keep black characters black and white characters white. My daughter won't be watching this.
I'm actually cool with this. Everyone is entitled to dislike anything they deem unacceptable. However, based on our history, both past and present, there's a thin line between this type of reaction and...
What kind of anti-white propaganda is this? These they're taking over everything. We need to keep these monkeys in their place. Let me go online so I can harass this black bitch.
Take your bigotry to the white folks in control of production. On second thought, violence isn't the answer in this case. People like this need a special brand of therapy. Speak your truth. What is your beef? with black people.
I honestly don't know why I hate black people, but they just make me so mad.
But why? How does hating black people enrich your life? Why not focus on the things in life that you control and will ultimately improve your quality of life?
That's the thing, Doc. Their suffering, in a weird way, gives me joy. The truth is, I pick on black people because I'm bored. My dreams in life are becoming less likely to happen. I work a dead-end job I hate. I can barely pay my rent. My girlfriend cheated on me with another guy. I'm currently 30 pounds overweight. Life is hard right now, very hard. But at least I'm not black. With all of my shortcomings in life, I'll always have that in my back pocket. I could focus more on bettering the hardships of life, and I am. It just takes time. In the meantime, I guess it's just convenient to take those shortcomings out on black people. They're an easy target, you know.
Wow. Very interesting. Please continue.
Well, Doc, at the end of the day, all I have in this world is my race. Despite everything wrong in life, it's the one thing I have that I could be proud of.
Could? What do you mean could? Please elaborate.
White used to mean something. Dominance. Supreme. Conqueror. My ancestors took no from anyone. We dominated and ruled over all, especially blacks. Fast forward to today. Seeing the people we enslaved doing better than me irks me to my very core, because it throws off the historical hierarchy my ancestors envisioned. Nothing is more infuriating to me than seeing an attractive white woman go after a black man. I do not want Tyrone's leftovers. A white woman who's had sex with a black man is dead to me. So in all honesty, they can't really be trusted. Black men or white women. My American dream of a wife, kids, and a picket fence is beginning to fade with every passing day, and it pisses me off. I'm supposed to be the standard. I'm the American white man. Life is hard, but it's at least supposed to be better than any black person.
Well, okay then. Let's go a bit deeper. We'll be right back after these messages. Need some art? Check out my commission price guide if you're interested. Link is in the description, as well as links to my social media where you can see my work. Welcome back to Let's Art Studios. Alright, this therapy segment is going to end up being a bit too long for this video, and I need to stay on topic. So we're going to cut it here and most likely post the uncut version over on Patreon. The overall point of this segment is to ask the question why. Anyway, let's get back to the original blackwashing video.
I win! They lose! That's how Get ruled by people like me!
We're currently on my final thoughts, key point number 2. And I'm covering the issue I have with Ariel's blackwashing, America's reactions, to be more specific. Again, I'm cool with this. Boycott, ignore, thumbs down, and go about your day. But this type of needs to stop. It's definitely about time we discuss some rules of engagement. Black America Code of Conduct. Number 1. Zero tolerance for bigotry, hate, or any form of anti-black f***ery.
Oh, come on. Tolerate it. You've been putting up with it for so long.
Stand for nothing. You'll fall for anything.
D-color.
I feel a rant coming on. I don't know what's more unsettling. These racist motherfuckers being so loose-lipped when it comes to talking to our girls, or these Hollywood directors having the ability to indirectly put targets on our girls' backs. Because I don't think these casting directors and producers are out here trying to reason with their bigoted brothers and sisters. I'll make this next rant be my third and final point. I've got a few things to get off my chest. Let's get it. Complete separation will always be my go-to when it comes to any type of solutions. Boycott any forms of media your community doesn't own and control, and expect Babylon's media engine to be weaponized against any kind of Black American empowerment. Know thy enemy as well as their agenda, and act accordingly. White supremacy rewards Black dysfunction, so it is vital to support independent Black-owned media. It is imperative that we support entertainment that shows us in a light that encourages and reinforces FBA virtues and values. All of that thug and thought slave catcher music isn't doing us any favors. It is completely weaponized for our demise. This is what your music looks like when America owns and controls mainstream broadcasts. White supremacy has not only took part in Black America's impoverished conditions, but they've also managed to turn those circumstances into a renewable source of income by reinforcing the toxic behavior that comes from living in that environment. What do you think happens to a race of people after 400 years of oppression? In other words, how did we get here? Well, you have to know the past to understand the present. Let's take a quick second to review a few historical receipts. America redlining Black communities into certain areas, turning them into ghettos. The murdering of our Black leaders via COINTELPRO. Nixon's war on drugs targeting Black men. The Iran-Contra affair, which dumped crack into Black communities. Mass incarceration, Planned Parenthood, government assistance, which deconstructed the nuclear family. So, the answer to the question is, short answer, nothing good.
Okay, so now let's do the math. Hundreds of years of trauma, no treatment. Freed, more trauma, no treatment. What do you do the math? Do you think there may be residual impacts of that trauma? Of course there is. It didn't end, friends, and it hasn't ended yet. So I think on one point, African people and people of African descent are extremely resilient. Matter of fact, I think we're a miracle.
We are still alive.
Far be it for us to pathologize or to look and cast this idea of weak and sick people. Oh, on the contrary, I'm profoundly resilient because we've done everything we've done thus far with no help, with not even the ability to have this discussion. As though it were possible we escaped injury in all those hundreds of years.
It's time to rise, rebuild, and restore.
By any means necessary.
But what I'm tripping on is, these white-owned broadcasts are playing by the same old anti-Black handbook their forefathers played by. What type of messages are these platforms promoting to the masses? Do you think they have Black America's best interests at heart with their artist selections? Of course not. Instead of using their platforms to encourage positive values in Black America, they are doing something much worse. They would rather reinforce and encourage the toxic conditions plaguing Black America by paying one of us to poison the minds of the masses.
I'ma fuck your bitch. I'ma kill this nigga. 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 That's the real anti-Semitic shit that the Jewish people get paid off of.
I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and.
It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing, our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention.
You're a piece of shit.
She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
Yeah, okay, pal.
Don't you think that's hypocritical though?
Hypocrisy.
You're saying the
it's
opioid problem's a problem.
opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed.
What did you say?
Yeah, I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
Racist motherfucker.
What did it cost?
Judy, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimate that more than 92,000 Americans died of overdoses in the 12 months ending last November. It is the highest number ever recorded and a 30% jump over the prior year. Now, the CDC data is not broken down by race, but researchers at the University of California found the largest increase in overdose deaths was in African Americans, a 50% jump from 2019. In Missouri alone, black men are now 4 times more likely than a white person to die of an overdose.
She told me that with great power comes great responsibility.
But we do have black people that get on the radio every day in white-owned companies, white-owned stations with white-owned sponsors that play the role of hypersexualized, hypercriminalized male. I ask these advertisers, I say, I've got hundreds of songs a day that celebrate killing animals. Will you put them on your station? They said, no. I got hundreds of songs a day that talk about assaulting women and abusing kids. Would you put them on your station? They said, no. I said, I got hundreds of songs a day that talk about murdering blacks. Would you put them on your stations? They said, well, that depends. Depends on what? Who it's done by and who it's branded for. Because if we can get black folks to sing about it and we can brand it for our youngest black audiences, I think there's money to be made. I think there's American appetites to see these people that way. I said, how can you say that? They said, well, look, it's what these artists know. It's what they, black people, create. It's, matter of fact, our surveys say it's what they want to hear, which speaks of a sickness. How do we live in a society where somebody says, you know what, I'm inspired to write a song that celebrates murdering another person. And then a person says, I'd like to put that on my station. Another person said, I'd like to pay for it. And then there's people out here in the audience that go, I'd love to hear it, as long as it's black guys. Because even white people buy rap music, buy this type of stuff, because we know that when we want to hear about killing each other, we know who to turn to for that type of inspiration. I always ask the companies, what about your name? What about your brand? What about your value? And the largest radio company in the world said this, it's okay that we only have drug dealers on our black youth stations. We only have murders on our black youth stations. We support black charities. We give out water at the Martin Luther King parade. I think we've got it covered. We've bought them off.
Bruh.
You know, there's certain stuff you can't buy at the store. Certain stuff you can't get on iTunes because their brand doesn't want it. But if you want to hear black people celebrating killing black people, they got thousands and thousands and thousands of those things to sell you. I don't think it's about censorship. I think it's about American cultural hypocrisy.
Because it's all part of the plan.
I'm gonna kill this.
The city of brotherly love now facing a nearly 12% increase in homicides from January 1st to late November. Homicide rates in Philadelphia continue to grow. This mural actually has the names of those killed or injured by gun violence over the years in the city. Most of those people are black. Specifically, 83% of those shot in Philly are black. Black people making up nearly 82% of fatalities.
I got people to feed.
Nobody panics.
I got a business to run.
Then everyone loses their minds.
Our community. You know, parents always tell me, I didn't raise my daughter to talk like that. I didn't raise my son. No, but the music did. Right. You know, the music has more influence over our children than the family does, the church, and the school. And I think there needs to be a Take Back the Music campaign where we redirect our children's energy away from the mainstream negative messages to something that's positive.
This manipulation spills into Hollywood also. White supremacy has no shame, no honor, and will use any excuse to promote black death on the radio and on screen. Enough is enough. I'm done with the white supremacy trauma films, and I'm done with the slave movies. You don't get to cause pain and suffering to a race of people and then turn that hardship into a theatric spectacle for your entertainment and profit. Orion Pictures,
Fuck you!
You are boycotted for life. For those who are FBA and are taking part in this story, get on code. I'm a bit passionate about this because, well, nothing's changed. And as an artist/animator, I know how powerful media imagery is and its influence on the mind. That being said, George Stinney Jr., a 14-year-old boy, was falsely accused of murdering 2 white girls. On June 16, 1944, Stinney became the youngest black American to be executed by the electric chair. 70 years later, in 2014, he was exonerated of all charges. I found 3 films, 1 YouTube manga, and 1 music video of Stinney's story, all of which seem very eager to put that boy in a chair to electrocute him. Is this art? Are we honoring the dead by reimagining how his life was taken? Do you think the family wants to experience this trauma again? If Stinney or Emmett was your child, would you want a movie made about him? I doubt the inspiration for these directors to make these films are based on the subject's life. In my opinion, it's more so based on the protagonist's gruesome death, or, as we see in Till, how a relative overcame the subject's gruesome death.
Let me show you how I overcame.
No, thank you, I'm fine.
Personally, I take issue with immortalizing our suffering on the big screen. So let me get this right. So black folks not only have to deal with this racist in reality, but we have to see it in theaters also? I'm missing the benefit here. I thought going to the movies was supposed to be a temporary escape from the norm. I stand by my convictions. White supremacy trauma films and slave movies also need to go. For good. I'm currently studying how trauma impacts the brain, and it doesn't look good. It increases stress hormones and can ultimately alter how our very brains and bodies function. I encourage you to look into it. Let me stop beating around the bush. Black America is...
What is the Matrix? Control.
What narratives are we exposing ourselves to? And how does it manifest in our subconscious mind? Hollywood's been producing these films since I was born, and America hasn't moved an inch towards any type of racial harmony or black economic reformation. Do these types of movies inspire black America to fight this oppressive system, or be complicit in it? Point is, I know my enemy. I know some of these motherfuckers get off on seeing black folks suffer. On the big screen, black trauma is always coupled with white dominance. What type of influence do you think this has on these bigots? My guess, it reinforces and possibly justifies whatever racial animosity and hate they have for black folks. That's their escape from the norm. A power fantasy they can't act on, but can rewatch over and over. Oh, trust and believe, these white men will pay good money to produce this type of content. But when it comes to therapy, reparations, or content that simply empowers black folks without any nothing. It's the same pathology we see in the rap industry. Profit for them, trauma for us. American society runs on anti-blackness, and I will fight in any and all areas to change it. It's time for a change. Let's get it.
Free your mind.
That's all for now. Lastly, don't be mad at Holly for qualifying for the job. In this case, your problem is...
This has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you.
Destroy the Sith. We must.
webcomics, memes, and the journey to produce our very own animations. If you enjoy our content and would like to see us continue to grow in this space, come support us over on Patreon. Link is in the description.
If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you enjoy my content and want to see more, there's many ways to support the channel. Check out the online store, check out the comic books, or you can make a donation or become a patron. Thanks for watching.